Hey! Hey there! Today I'm going to be showing you guys my updated Gley build. Gley was one of the few Descendants who received a buff in the recent patch. Not only did she receive a lot of damage buffs, she also received a very good quality of life improvement by removing the speed penalty when using her sensory buff. In this video, I will be covering her buffs, component cores, and mutant cell. First thing to discuss is the buff to Predator Instinct. A lot of people did not want to use this because they thought that you lose damage, but even before the buff, it was already better assuming you shoot for more than 2 seconds. I did the calculations in my previous Gley builds and to be honest, nothing really changed in the builds. First reason was I was already using Predator Instinct and the buff to this module is just a net positive, especially on your restored Relic. Second reason is the buff to increase sensory is also a net positive because of the flat crit damage and weak point increase as well as the movement improvements. Third reason is that Mutant Cell did not change Gley because there is no weapon buffs on Mutant Cell. Unless of course if you use her Massacre build, which I won't be covering. Simply because the damage output of weapons outperforms her Massacre build by a lot. Trust me, I built her Ice Maiden Massacre build and it is so inefficient. Fourth reason is that component core is also a huge net positive for Gley and other gunner descendants because you are already using HP and defense modifiers. I don't even need to calculate the effective hit points to know that the EHP of Gley is 3 to 5 times the amount compared to skiller descendants. The only changes I will make is the optimization specific to Gley. As a gunner descendant, Gley is only as good as the weapon she uses. And personally for her mobbing build, I will always recommend using the restored Relic. It's a lot easier to use the weapon because of the auto tracking and it deals an absurd amount of DPS. If you use this weapon for Void Erosion Purge, simply switch attribute and attribute inversion strong against the enemies. The second weapon that's really good in Gley is of course the Malevolent at 60% fire rate on weapon cores. Because we don't need ammo utility, we can go with weak points, elemental attack, multi-hit, and attack modules. And if you have troubles hitting weak points, you can replace the weak point modules with elemental circulation and even recoil if you want. The third weapon for Gley is her single target embossing weapon, the last Dagger. Again, nothing changes except that we no longer need any crit modules when you're using crit on Arche Tuning. But if you're not, simply replace Chill Priority with Insight Focus. You can also replace Tenacious Hunter if you think your weak point hit rate is below 30% with Overwhelm or Ultra Precision Strike. Now, people are going to be saying that Mental Focus is better because of the 100% uptime. Guys, I've already done the math in every Gley builds and I've already taken that into account. The Mental Focus formula is at 100% while the Sharp Precision buff is average and is better. Fire rate will give you more DPS at high levels as explained in this video. For the Gley build, nothing changes except you have 2 free slots depending on situations. For example, Shot Focus only affects the last Dagger and not on Restored Relic. If you're only using Restored Relic, Shot Focus is useless. If that's the case, better go with Resistances, Defense, or even HP Collector. The reason why we don't need the second focus module is because you already have enough for a 100% uptime on your third ability, except during cast animation. Essentially, if you have lower cooldown than the duration, you don't want to keep casting your third because it's already because it's similar to reloading even when you've not emptied your magazine. You want to consume the duration before casting your third ability because doing otherwise will reduce your average shot per second. As mentioned a lot before, Gley's third ability does not essentially mean that she does not reload. We can consider the third ability cast animation as the reload downtime. This is why going 2-piece Firebrand on our component is good as well as going with duration on Arche Tuning. It increases our average shot per second. And even a 100 millisecond at high fire rate levels means millions of damage difference. You can also use the third ability buff, maximize lethality, and maximize recovery stacks on top of one another. You can increase your movement speed when using third ability outside frenzied mode. You can see how I utilize this in the showcase later. On top of that, I also now always bring 1 movement weapon with 3 precision cores, 2 for speed cores, 1 for grappling core. For Inversion, you just switch your enhanced focus rounds, and for Arche Tuning, it depends which weapon you want to focus on. Going multi-hit will benefit Restored Relic, going crit will benefit the last Dagger. But you can also use both multi-hit and crit if you're using both weapons. Even without the duration Arche Tuning, your third ability uptime is still fine. That's it for the video guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
death.
This is Hound Actual, reporting extreme concentrations of void energy within the operation zone. All units, please proceed at your own discretion. Do not exceed your limits.
All my senses come alive. I smell death.
Wide-range shaping charge drop complete. Begin the void energy purification operation. Descendant, prime the detonator with your Arche. Then activate the remote detonation device.
Reloading. Don't get in my way.
Captain Elias, deploying Arche. I am the original.
I smell death.
Mission complete. Transporting